Saving Wonder, Chapter K. For the last 4 days, Jules and I have been walking to and from the bus stop together, just like in the old days before JD. Usually, I tell Jules the word for the week, or she'll ask, and we'll try to use it at least once on the way to school or on the way home. But this week, for some reason, I can't bring myself to tell her what it is. It feels like a secret before the thing that makes it a secret has had a chance to happen. Crazy, huh? All I know is that I've been fixating, 2 years ago, February, on this dream catcher keychain I made for her in 3rd grade that's clipped to a buckle on her school bag. At the time I thought it was a sissy thing for a boy to be making, so all the materials I picked out, pipe cleaner, feathers, and beads, were black. I had in mind a dream catcher for a ninja warrior, which at the time I wanted to be. "If you don't want it, I'll take it," Jules said after art class that day. "Sure, here," I said, and the gift was made. I told her it would protect her against evil spirits, a stupid, childish fantasy that's obviously not working. Spring is coming to the mountains in spurts. Today is chilly after a couple of days of spitting cold rain. Jules and I slog our way home along the creek bed, trying to avoid crushing the clusters of bloodroot blossoms poking out here and there, like tiny white asterisks among all the dead leaves. When I was a little boy, I used to get terrible sore throats. Ma would use bloodroot to make a powerful medicine, mixing the bitter, red juice of its roots with maple sugar to hide the taste, which it never quite did. She always looked so worried about me, though, so I kept the bad taste to myself. "JD tells me your part of our elk project is really coming along." Jules's voice sounds like a little girl's as it breaks the silence between us. Since the elk tour, Jules and I have managed to keep JD out of our conversations. It's as if we're both pretending he didn't exist, which suited me just fine, so I have to wonder why she's bringing him up now. I decide to take the high road. "Yeah, he was a big help with the video I'm making." I say this matter-of-factly, like JD and I are buds, like I didn't almost kill him last Sunday afternoon. "Oh? He told me he wasn't so sure. Something about you getting your underwear all bunched in a wad." She stops to shift her pack to the other shoulder and examines me, like she's trying to read my face and probably my mind, something she's usually pretty good at. "Oh, really?" I notice the dream catcher swinging from its chain. He was the one who got himself all in a tizzy talking about his old man taking him away from his brothers up north, like he wishes he'd never come here. It doesn't feel good telling on anybody like this, even JD, but gosh darn it, he started it. "He said that?" She looks at me as if she doesn't believe me, and that really ticks me off. "Yeah, he even said he doesn't have a social life down here in Hicksville." She flinches. It's barely perceptible, but I can see it in her face above the place where her dimple usually shows up when she's smiling. Good. What I said hurts. But then this twinge of guilt starts pinching at me, and I have to tell the whole truth, which, I don't mind telling you, I absolutely hate. "Except for you," I say, rolling my eyes. I kick an old rotten log and it crumbles. Jules gets all shy and wispy like a feral kitten in from the cold. "Well, that's nice," she says. I think about telling her that JD said they weren't serious, that they were just having fun, but then I see how she's blushing again, and I don't have the heart. Will I ever see a day when she blushes at the thought of me? "Hey, Curly, would you hold my bag? I've got to pee." She shoves her pack at me without waiting for an answer and tromps off into the woods behind a tree. I look at the dream catcher, pretty ratty after all these years, but still intact, and I wonder if she'd miss it. Well, I guess we'll just have to see. Without a second thought, I unclip it from the buckle and stash it in the front pocket of my jacket. I squelch the guilt that's rising in my throat like bile, telling myself that the dream catcher is mine anyway. I made it. I gave it. And I can take it back. Jules and I have been peeing in the woods since we were knee-high to grasshoppers, and there's always been an unspoken rule that the other one never looks. My recent theft has emboldened me, last year, August, and I sneak a peek. I don't see anything, not really, just Jules zipping up her jeans as she comes from around the tree. Now I'm blushing. I'm not sure if it's what I saw or what I did that has me embarrassed, but thankfully Jules doesn't seem to notice. Thanks, she says as she takes her bag back. Let's get home, I'm freezing. We walk by the sycamore tree where we sat and watched our first elk. Since JD came to Wonder Gap, Jules hasn't wanted to climb up on old Charlie anymore and hang out with me. Do you think we'll ever see that bull elk again? I ask, hoping to remind her of that time we dilly-dallied the morning away. Nah. She looks up toward the mountain, where the elk bellowed his mating call. The new green leaves of spring blur the line of sight we had when the branches were bare. She resumes walking as if nothing happened up there that day when time stood still. My guess is that old bull has gone back to where he came from, she says. If only a certain bad boy would do the same. Kleptomaniac, noun, one who exhibits an irresistible propensity to steal.